And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Oh, this is not the scene I was looking for. There it is. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to our second broadcast of the night. Welcome to World Team League 2024 Summer Code A, day number 7, the final day of World Team League. We are back. We're going on the live broadcast here. Let's go. As we have two best of 7s here tonight, and we have our lineups. Here we go. We have Twisted Fairy versus Offside, Classic versus Firefly in a PvP, Nice versus Rex in a PvZ, followed by another series at the end there. But we have our PvP to kick off the night. Let's go. Now, this is going to be a rematch. Classic has been having a hard time against Protoss players, whether they're players like Cyan, players like Firefly. Obviously, Classic is a veteran. He has a legend behind him. He's a veteran player here. He is very accomplished. And honestly, I would say that Classic is top 2 Protoss in Korea right now. But Firefly has some killer PvP, and we even saw that last night. But here we go. We're diving into it and spawning in the top right-hand corner. We have Classic for Twisted Fairy. And in the bottom left, we have Firefly for Offside. Let us go. As we are just quickly settling on into our next matchup. I was just quickly double checking here, but I want to say that they had this is a rematch. Yes, it is a rematch. I was curious. Okay, so I was getting deja vu. I was like, I feel like I casted this before. I feel like we've already covered this. We have. Twisted Fairy and Offside, they faced off in the upper bracket. I think it was like day 2 or day 3 of WTL Code A, and Firefly 2-0'd Classic. Firefly 2-0'd Classic. That was a couple of days ago, by the way. And now Classic, he's here for his revenge. Again, Firefly, we've seen him beat Hero, we've seen him beat Classic, we've seen him beat Creator. Firefly has some of the best PvP out there. He's even forced Max Packs to the Ace match in a best of 5. That's how good Firefly's PvP is. There's no Protoss player out there that has ever survived the wrath of Firefly. Not saying that he's favored, but he can take them all down. On a good day, on a good night, Firefly can beat any Protoss in the world. And Classic is here to redeem himself. He's here to prove to us all why he is the ace player of Twisted Fairy and why he is still a force to be reckoned with. Let's go. Let us go. Meanwhile, a big shout out to Rainer in the chat. Bappy, oh my god, thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great, or hope you enjoyed your run. We had a great time casting you. We just wrapped up with ESL Open Cup Asia, and Rainer was one of our finalists. And I mean, peak Rainer was definitely the semifinals. You're an animal, Pappy. you're an absolute mate. What you did to Dark was disgusting, but it was great. We had a great time. I'm sure you did as well. And I wish you the best in the GSL qualifiers. GSL qualifiers are right around the corner. They're in a couple of days. So if you're out there in the chat, cheer for Rainer. Again, he's going to be competing in the qualifiers, and I'm sure competing in the main event as well. Best of luck, Pappy. Best of luck. As the Korea arc has only just begun for Rainer. Only just begun. Meanwhile, we're settling into, of course, World Team League Code A. Settling into Game 1. For now, we do have our 2 gate openers for for Classic at least. We do have Firefly getting into his expansion. Instead of Classic opting to go for faster tech instead. It is going to be a Stargate opener out of Classic, delaying his expansion. Meanwhile, Firefly trying to get his faster Nexus up and running. As a reminder, it was a gate expand out of Firefly. A little bit greedy, very Max Packs-esque. Very greedy here. The adepts, they do rock up. But again, the sentries, they have been buffed. As of late, they were buffed in the recent patch, and they will survive these adepts. It looks like we trade 1 for 1. Whew. But the last one adept does survive. We get a probe. Shield battery still a couple of seconds off, and we get a second probe as well. Not bad. 2 probes do go down. Shield battery does finish up. Firefly will hold, but not without losing a couple of workers. Bearing in mind, though, that Classic needs to get damage done. He delayed his own expansion, or he went for a later expansion. Based on the openers, Classic is down in workers. He needs to fight back. And he's trying. Still being very active here with the adepts. Again, the sentries, they do hit a little bit different nowadays. They are a little bit tankier. They do a little more damage as well against these adepts. Good force fields. Oh my, Firefly! He locks down one of the adepts, does shut it down. Very nice pick off, but probes are still falling. Probes are still getting picked off. We do bleed out another 2. Once again, good force fields. Oh my god. The body blocking, barely the adept does slip away. But the Oracle does get into the main base. Does slip in. Stalkers are somewhat in position, but we do manage to get another 5 probes. 5 workers go down. Good damage. And as the dust does settle, you can see the worker count is quite even. 27 workers apiece. Goes to show how far behind Classic was, or how far ahead Firefly was in the economy as he catches another adept. Bobby, calm down. Este Firefly. As he does manage to get another adept. As is being stated in the chat, we are catching up in the WTL broadcast. We were busy covering the finals of ESL Asia, which means this broadcast, which means we're behind around 40 minutes or so. So we are catching up. Adept's going to be going down. We do get another 5 probes. Very nicely done. Did I say 5? I meant to say 6. 7 workers go down in the natural. Classic popping off. Classic finally taking a worker lead. Did cost him a lot though. Did cost him a lot of adepts. Did invest quite hard into these stalkers. Sorry, into these oracles as the stalkers are moving out. Firefly, he's had enough defending. He's moving out across the map. Blink is halfway done. Once again though, that mineral line is exposed. Don't quite get any more damage though. Back at home, Classic is rushing into immortal production. Ooh, as the main base is left wide open. 5 probes go down. 6 probes go down. Firefly gets across the map. He's committed. He's down 10 workers. He's looking to end it here and now, at least breaking into the natural, but the Immortal has arrived just in time. Force fields are good, but there's just not enough to keep up as Firefly gets caught out. 1 sentry goes down, 2nd sentry, 3rd sentry as well. Barely escapes, barely doesn't escape. And Classic, he's in a good position. He's miles ahead. He's up in workers, he's up in army. He may not have Blink, but he has Immortals. He has Immortals to make up for that. So there's a bit of a give and take here. Firefly has a more mobile army with Blink Stalkers. Meanwhile, Classic has a more robust army with those Immortals. So with these Stalkers, we could try to outposition Classic. Definitely. We could threaten the main base. We could try to dive into a mineral line. Catch out the army. It is possible. But in a head-to-head fight, I have to favor Classic. As Firefly is fanning out. Going for additional gateways, yet to expand. Likewise, either is Classic. This Firefly does threaten that natural base. But again, we're up to 2 Immortals, 2 shield batteries, an overcharge. Yeah, there's no breaking the natural. Firefly has to back off. At the same time, the Oracle is still getting more damage, by the way. 3 probes go down. Ay, ay, ay. Finally, the Oracle goes down, but it is more than paid for itself. And the pressure is still on Firefly. Throws down another gateway. Still refuses to expand. Doubling down on Mass Stalker. I mean, it's the only way. Hallucination confirms lack of 3rd. So Classic, he's just making sure he gets eyes on any expansion or an all-in. Prism does manage to slip away. And you can see Firefly is still trying to find an angle of attack. Trying to find a weak point in the defenses of Classic. Yeah, proxy gateway across the map. Like, we're just going for an all-in. It's all-in here for Firefly. And as a reminder, with high ground vision, he can just go into the main instead. He can avoid the natural. I've yet to see the defenses in the main. I'm not sure if we have shield battery set up. Ooh, as Classic is pushing out onto the map towards the 3rd. Does come across the army. And he chases Firefly back. He collapses on the proxy. Yeah, that gateway, it's gonna fall. There's no making use of it. Even supply blocking Firefly. Behind this, Firefly is expanding. Trying to, getting into a forge. But it looks like we may have just forced Classic to counterattack. He is now breaking free and he's not stopping. We can see Firefly trying to buy time. Does actually drag Classic back home. But we have the surround. Get out of here. Force the recall. We bleed out a handful of Stalkers. And now Classic can push. He's expanding behind this. Going for his own 3rd base. Prism has arrived. We can reinforce on the front lines. And can Classic be stopped? He's up to 3 Immortals. That's a lot of Immortals. And Stalkers as well. Even with the overcharge, Firefly, he's being overwhelmed. We have double the army supply here for Classic. Boys are being pulled, they have to be. And Classic, he's getting his revenge. Remember, it was a couple of days ago when Firefly 2-0'd Classic, and now he fights back. GG gets called, and Classic takes game number 1. GG. Classic is angry. He's upset about what happened in that previous series. It looks like we are getting into our map of choice, and Firefly, he's going, oh, interesting, for Oceanborn. Oceanborn is going to be coming up next. We have seen Firefly on this map before go for a more economic opener. I mean, we just saw it in game 1 where Firefly went for a gate expand, very Max Pax-esque, but he was punished. He was punished quite hard for it. Can he get away with it on Oceanborn? Here we go. As spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have Classic for Twisted Fairy. And in the bottom right, we have Firefly for Offside. Let's go. And as we settle into game number 2, a big shout out to the sponsors of WTL. A shout out to Doyu, Piu Piu, Autofool, and Tidal as well. Big shout out to the sponsors. Without them, WTL would not be possible. It would not have as big of a prize pool or as much support. Not just World Team League, but also Kung Fu Cup, also Masters Coliseum, SC Boy. They do so much for the StarCraft scene nowadays, both in individual league and team league formats as well. Also Stars War 11, that's another big one. The qualifiers did conclude, and Stars War 11 is on the horizon as well. So yeah, really cool to see. SC Boy invest as hard as much as they do. If I'm not mistaken, I think Rainer recently announced that he was going to be casting Stars War 11 at the venue. I could be mistaken, but I think he tweeted about it, about how he was given permission to cast the event, and I think he's opting to travel to the venue itself, to China, to be a part of it. So yeah, really cool to see, really cool to hear. Wish Rainer the best in that cast. We're going to be casting as well, but obviously not live from the venue, from here back at home. I'm sure it's going to be a great time. As for now, we're settling into our builds. Interesting. Firefly going for a Zealot first, by the way. Ooh, as Classic does look in those probes. A brutal moment here. Pylon gets thrown down, and you can see 3 probes then trapped in the mineral line. Slick moves out of Classic. He allows it to finish as well. That is brutal. 3 probes that trapped. We do delay a lot of mining time here for Firefly. That's why we have the Zealot on the way, to focus down the probe and to focus down the pylon. Ooh, a good start for Classic. Is a solid start. Flexing a little bit on Firefly. He's angry, Pop. He's angry. Pylon is going to go down. Back at home, it's a 2-gate opener from Classic. We can set up for expansion as, ooh, Classic, once again, it's the same build. 2 games in a row is going for a Stargate before expand. Meanwhile, that's 2 more gates. Oh my god. 1 base all in? Firefly. He responds here with 2 more gateways. I imagine a proxy gateway across the map as well. We're doubling down. I mean, I do like the dichotomy here out of Firefly, where in game 1, he went for a greedy gate expand. Here in game 2, we just turned the tables on Classic. There it is. Another gateway's on the way. I believe that's 4 gates in... Oh, no, sorry, it was just a wall off. So 3 gateways for the time being, but I'm sure we're going to be getting a 4th gateway across the map to reinforce. Adepts have arrived. They go for the sentry. Ooh, and they should get one. They should be able to pick one off. And it will fall. There's that pylon on the way from Firefly. Still refusing to expand. Classic is taking his own natural. Getting into his Oracle. Good movement out of Classic. Does save the Adept. Does reinforce. And Firefly is in trouble. He is in a lot of trouble. He was a little bit too cavalier with his sentries. A little bit too bold with them, and they will be going down. Oof. Yeah, 2 sentries fall, and we're reinforcing across the map. My apologies, there is no 4th gateway, so it's just going to be 3 gates, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, wait, no. Okay, we just let it finish. Never mind. 4 gateways back at home. We're reinforcing across the map. Warping in 4 stalkers at a time. Clutch force field. But we have control of the low ground. Yeah, we force a cancel on the Nexus. Robo's on the way. Void Ray production has commenced for Classic. And we have a wall of shield batteries. But we're out of force fields. We just walk in. We just walk on in. It doesn't even matter. We have the overcharge, though. Classic, he can hold. We go for the pylon. It's out of range of the shield battery. Pylon goes down. The Artosis Pylon does fall. We depower the gateways. Only Void Rays can be reinforcing. Only Void Rays can warp in. And we are holding the line. The Prismatic Alignment putting in a lot of damage. The Adepts, they come back home. We get the full surround. Classy comes in for the surround. Collapses on the Stalkers. And he will clean this up. But we have more Stalkers on the way. Firefly dragging the army out of position. Is it going to be enough? He's going for the Void Ray. And can he get it? He should. He goes for the Oracle. Does manage to get the Oracle in the end. Void Ray survives. And I believe Classic, he's repowered those gateways. Yeah, we have a Sentry. We have an Immortal. We can force field the ramp. Classic, he's holding. Beautiful force field here on the ramp. Shuts down 2 Stalkers. And Firefly, he's hurting. He's running out of steam. Time is working against him. He needs to push in. Doesn't get the Void Ray. And you can see Classic looking more and more comfortable here. Yeah, he moves out, gets another Stalker. No fear whatsoever. Yeah, as he catches even more. Classy, he's completely shutting this down. It was a good effort here by Firefly, but alas, he has no more momentum. GG gets caught, and Classic takes the 2-0, takes a strong lead. But up is real. That's a lot of Protoss, Papi. That is a lot of Protoss. And up first, we're going to be loading in to Ghost River. We have our starting map. Let's go. Raynor, true, he's already a YouTuber. True. You're not wrong. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Ghost River, we have the Taiwanese Protoss, nice. And in the top right, we have Rex for offside. Here we go. We have some Taiwan on Taiwan action here. Rex versus Nice, the best Zerg and Protoss from their country, respectively. Let's go. They do go back and forth, but the reality is that Nice is the strongest player in his region. For many years now, he has surpassed Haas as the king of Taiwan. He has surpassed Haas and likewise Rex as well, but always any other player in the region. So this is going to be an uphill battle for Rex. What I will say, though, is that Rex has been improving quite a lot as of late. He's been practicing quite a bit. And the pressure is on Rex to fight back for himself and for his team. Offside, that had a rough start here to the series. Can we bounce back? How does Rex play ZVP? He's typically very mid-game oriented. We have seen Rex go for 3-base max outs quite a bit. I'm talking about like 3-base saturation, 6-6 drones, max out on roaches. We could see that work wonders here on Ghost River just because of the short rush distance by ground, but we'll see. I'm curious how Rex will approach this, because Nice is not a standard player. Nice, he's very unorthodox. He can be very difficult to predict as well, which is why he's a lot of fun to cast. Nice is always a great player to cast, but I'm sure terrifying to play against. We'll see how this all comes together. We shall see. We've also seen Rex not afraid of Ling flooding as well, but not certain if we're going to be seeing that in this series. For now, Rex is going to be saturating his natural base, getting up to his 2-base setup. We're casting with like a 30-minute delay now. Yeah, exactly. Only 30 minutes back. Let's go. But for the time being, we do have just some chill standard openers here. Even Rex was able to take his natural, not forced to expand elsewhere. Has a much more comfortable start, as Nice is going for a Stargate opener. Let's go. Is going to be a Stargate first. Should be into Oracles, but we'll keep an eye on Nice. I'm sure he's not afraid to go into a Void Ray or a Phoenix opener as well. Meanwhile, Rex is getting his 3rd base up and running. Is on the way. We are settling into our game. Again, we were just on this map earlier with Raynor versus Hero, talking about how aggression can be favored, and Hero himself went for a 3-base all-in, went for 8 gateways, sorry, he went up to 9 gates even. 9 gate, Blink Stalker all-in. I'm not sure if Nice is one to really approach the game in that way, but there it is, Void Ray first. Now, with a Void Ray opener, this is designed to hunt down these overlords to deny vision from Rex and to keep him in the dark as to what comes next. As to the follow-up tech, from here we can go into Glaive Adepts, we can go into Sky Toss, we can go into Charge Lots, we can go into a standard game as well. What will Nice embrace after this Void Ray? And it's going to be on Rex to figure it out as well. As the Overlord does dip in, Rex, he confirms the Void Ray. Does get eyes on the Oracle follow-up as well. Barely does see it. Ooh, as that does supply block Rex for a moment. Thankfully, he does break out of it. Is going for a lair first. Interesting. 4-minute lair timing here for Rex. Just under 4 minutes even. Now, with a fast lair, that will lead into a fast Overseer Scout. But my eyes are on Rex as we're going for a second Void Ray. Overlord speed is on the way. We could just go for a Ling Queen all in as well. Overlord speed does give us access to Dropper Lords. It does make it more viable here. And I don't see a Roach Warren. Not yet. Yeah, I'm feeling a Ling Queen at night. Sorry, not Nidus. A Ling Queen all in. Baliness is on the way. Okay. Interesting. Baliness is on the way. We're still making more Lings. We can see Rex's cutting workers at 35. We are done droning. We're making nothing but Lings, nothing but Queens. And we should be pushing across the map with the all-in. We spoke about it earlier, but Ghost River, the rush distance by ground is very short. 31 seconds from main to main. Doesn't take long at all. There we go. The Dropper Lords are on the way. But Nice is getting ready. Shield batteries are being thrown down. Void Rays are getting in position. We have a third Void Ray in production. Can Nice hold? Can he defend? As here comes the army. We get the revelation off. We have spotted the queens. Again, Baliness just now finishing. It is going to be 5 queens being sent across the map. We can, of course, spread creep as well to allow for some transfuse. 6 Banelings on the way as well. The Void Rays, they may come across them. Up. They do barely get eyes on them. They go for the Overlord, but the queens, they're going for the natural. Lings as well. Let's go. So we get Lings and Queens into the natural way. So we have Ling Bane towards the third. We have a shield battery. We do have a sentry in position. But the army is not. And Void Rays, they rotate over. They catch a queen. 1 queen goes down. Overcharge is popped. At the same time, Rex is going for the third. But there's no saturation. Nothing here to really kill. He's going for the Adepts instead. Will crash in. We have 3 shield batteries. The queens, they're being cleaned up. We managed to get 8 probe kills, but we hold on to the third. GG gets called. The wall is solid. Nice. He does defend both his natural and his third, and he will extend his lead. Graphics. Well, it's okay. I don't know if you saw it was showing Classic versus Firefly. That is not the case. But we are getting ready for our next map. I think it's going to be on Post-Youth. They're showing us Post-Youth, so I guess that's going to be it. There we go. There we go. They fixed up the names. Interesting. Now, if you remember, the last time we saw Rex on Post-Youth, he went for a proxy hatch against Special, and he did manage to bring Special to his knees. Did bring him down, but here we go. We're getting into our next game, and in the top right, we have Nice. In the bottom left, we have Rex. Let's go. As we're getting into this, a big shout out to Yellow Bee in the chat. Baby God, thank you so much. Did subscribe during the last game. I apologize for not giving you a shout out earlier, but thank you so much for subscribing with Twitch Prime. Thank you, Papi. Thank you. Hope you enjoy your emotes. Hope you enjoy your replay packs. We do send out replay packs to our subscribers, so thank you so much. Join our Discord if you do want access to those replays, as Rex is going for the gold. Let's go. We are headed for the gold base as our natural. And can Nice punish this? Can he shut it down? As Nice is going for a Nexus first? Oh my god. Am I crazy? It's a Nexus for Gateway, right? Yeah. Okay. Nexus first here at the Nice. Meanwhile, gonna be the goal base from Rex. Now, it is a greedy build here from Nice, but Rex's opener is greedier, is what I should say. So I'm sure Rex is still content with this. Probe is moving out, and we'll soon get eyes on the expansion. Meanwhile, hello, Carwin. Hello. I see Carwin in the chat. Luke Wolf as well. Eric. Fala galera, papi. Good to see, Eric. Best of luck. I know that you have a couple of days break from EPT Spring, but best of luck in the coming days in your next series. I haven't been able to watch live, I'll be honest. I've been sleeping, Papi. I've been sleeping, but I'm catching up on the VODs. I'm catching up. So best of luck, Papi. Best of luck. I'll try to wake up early, and I'll try to be there for your matches. I think your matches are like at 4 a.m. my time. As the Maynard is upon us, Rex gonna be saturating his gold as quickly as possible. And even though Nice sees this, because of the Nexus first, he can't really do anything about it. The Cybercore is not even done. Again, it was all delayed because of the greedier build from Nice. And we are settling on into this. Zealot finishing up, waiting for the Cybercore. Likewise, Rex able to saturate his gold base. And our tech of choice is going to be a Stargate from Nice. I imagine it's going to be Oracle this time to harass across the map to get some economic damage done, but we'll see. We shall see. Oh, de nada, papi, de nada. De nada. But yeah, for those who are unaware, both Eric and Dolan are competing in EPT Spring in the Americas Regionals, and they're doing fairly well. They're doing quite well for themselves. But their next matches, I believe, are in 2 or 3 days. They're in a couple of days. So I'll do my best to wake up for them. Do my best. I'll set all the alarms. As once again, Void Ray first. Okay. Very interesting. Nice is once again going for a Void Ray opener. He's going to shut down the Overlord. Twilight Council behind this. Oh, it gets cancelled. Twilight Council is going to be cancelled as the Overlord will get the scout off. I believe that was designed for a Glaive Adept timing. But again, the Overlord will delay it. That's a pretty big moment here for Rex. And Nice, forced to expand, taking a third base instead. Will he still go for that Twilight Council as the Overlord finally goes down? Behind this, Lings are flooding across the map, getting guys on the third. Applying a bit of pressure here and there, but nothing major. And there it is, we have a gateway explosion. So I believe that's going to be 4 gates in total. Twilight Council's on the way, no forge. Oh, did I say the 4 gates in total? That's going to be a 5th gateway, a 6th gateway as well. Oh my god, that's a lot of gateways. That is a lot of gateways in production here for Nice. A Robo as well. Ay, ay, ay. And are we going for charge? With this many gateways, I imagine this is going to be a charge all in. We'll see. It is a good way to make use of the gold minerals with that hybrid base. That's going to be 7 gates in total, as the first gateway is already done. And no, it is not charged. It is indeed going to be Glaive Adepts. And we throw down 1 more gateway. It's going to be 8 gates in total. We cancel Glaives, and we throw down the charge. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. I'm like, I don't think we can afford 8 Adepts at a time. We don't have the gas for it. As we pull out of gas, it is charge. So it's going to be a 2-base charge all in. The third is essentially a fake out. Nice cutting probes at 20. He's Maynarding over to the third base to make it look like he's probing. I mean, I say that he has spare probes because he's pulled out of gas. Again, Nice. He has 0 gas income right now. 0 gas and nothing but zealots. Has he gone up to 10 gates? Jesus. I know he at least has 8. But I think he started up 2 more. Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God. It's going to be all or nothing here for Nice. Massing up pure zealots. Prism is on the way. And we'll see if Rex can hold. Rex, he will not have Bailings. He will have pure Roach. Does have the power of that gold base. And zealots are moving out. And this is going to hit like a truck. Again, no sag defense, no Bailings. Rex is being caught with his pants down. He did not see this coming, by the way. Is massing roaches. But this is going to be a tough hold as we avoid the gold. We're threading the main, going for another big warp in behind this. Rex, he is amassing roaches. Good choke point. It is a good choke point. We do barely hold the line here. Queen's in position as well. We do transfuse. We rotate over towards the other army instead, towards the north. Going for another big warp in. The Queens, they tried to focus down the Prism. But the Prism survives. And we're snowballing out of control. We're busting into the gold base. We're trying to at least Again, good positioning out of Rex overall. He's holding. He's barely holding on. He gets the Void Ray as well. Yeah, he cleans up the first wave of Zealots and he goes for the other. Rex, he barely loses any drones, by the way. He's up in workers. 56 drones to the 42 of Nice. And Rex holds. Again, just really good positioning on the ramp. Reduce the surface area. Likewise, kited back to the goal base as well. Rex, he handled it very nicely. And now we're going for a big counterattack. And Nice, he barely has any Zealots left. He barely has an army. He was all in. And it's so difficult to recover from a failed all in. Not like this. Overcharge is popped and Rex, he's breaking through. There's barely anything to support here. Only a handful of Zealots. Do get a drop across the map. Gonna be forcing back some reinforcements. The last Rex, he is overwhelming. Shuts everything down. GG gets called and Rex, he fights back. He does put a point on the board. And we do extend the series here. 3-1. Rex, he keeps the dreams of Offside alive. Let's go. GG, well played. Again, it is a best of 2, so that does wrap up Nice versus Rex. We will not get an ace match between them. We're getting ready for our third best of 2. Stats versus Uwu Thermal. Let's go. Let us go. Again, Stats going to be a returning ex-military Protoss player. He's been back for a year and Stats has been on fire as of late. He's been improving quite a lot over the past couple of months, over the past year. And Uwu Thermal, it's going to be a tough series for him. Again, he's more of a content man nowadays, less of a player. And on top of that, Thermal is playing random, not Terran. Is rolling as random, which does make him that much more unpredictable, does make it that much more difficult to also rely on him in these moments as well. We'll see if he can bounce back. The pressure is on. One more loss for Offside, and that'll be their tournament run ended. And here we go, we're loading into game number 1. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have Stats for Twisted Fairy. And in the bottom left, rolling Protoss, it's Thermal for Offside. Let's go. Again, Thermal, he does compete as random nowadays, for those that are curious. For the past, like, 6 months, maybe more than that, he's been competing as random. He also competed as random last season in WTL when he was playing for Team Roddy. So, more than anything, Thermal, he's here to make some content, okay? He's here not just to win games as random, but to win games in style. As Thermal, he has a very unique approach. Even when he rolls as Terran, he typically relies on all-ins. Like, all-ins and cheeses and just, like, these weird builds. That's usually what we see from Thermal, but we'll see what he's got here. We'll see what he has for us in this PvP. As Stats is no slouch. Again, it took Stats a while to really get things going. It wasn't until IEM Katowice, it wasn't until post-IEM that Stats really leveled up. I do believe that it was IEM that kind of gave Stats the motivation that he was lacking to improve, to compete. And it's been great to see Stats come into his own as of late. That's been amazing to bear witness. As we do see Stats going for a gate expand, a more economic opener here out of Stats. Meanwhile, Thermal is going for a 2-gate opener. This tells me that Thermal, he has the option to potentially go for a 1-base all-in. Will he expand, or will Thermal double down? Here we go. Here we go. What do you have for us? As Thermal, it looks like based on the camera movement, I think he is looking to take the gold. I think he is poised to expand. We'll see. Sentry's on the way for Stats. He's trying to deal with this probe, trying to expand here on the low ground. And there we go. Nexus has been thrown down. Wasn't delayed too much. Meanwhile, Thermal, is he going for the gold? Now, the biggest reason why Stats is not going for the gold base himself is because it's vulnerable. Like, in a PvP, this gold base is so vulnerable to being harassed. Twilight Council gets thrown down. Thermal still yet to expand. Pylon gets thrown down as well to delay. But we should force a cancel. And the question becomes, does Euthermal work towards Blink and take the Nexus or not? And we have the money for it. There it is. Nexus is on the way. But again, this gold mineral line is so exposed to the elements, to the outside world. Couple of Blink Stalkers or Adepts is all it takes to deny mining time at that gold base, so it is a risky move out of Euthermal. It's why Stats didn't even bother. He knows how risky it is. Meanwhile, we can see Stats, upon seeing the gold base, he's like, mate, you want to try to take the gold against me in a PvP? You're crazy, Papi. We're coming in to punish it. Pylon has been thrown down. I imagine Stats is going to be throwing down a gateway as well. We have 2 gateways back at home, 3 gates in total. We could be seeing a 4th gateway to reinforce and to punish that gold. Show us what you got. Show us what you got. There it is. There's the 4th gateway. So it's going to be 4 gates out of Stats. And again, his goal here is to just deny mining time and to take an economic lead over Euthermal. To punish the gold. Meanwhile, Euthermal is pushing out. Does run into the army. Very nice start of Euthermal, but the force fields get thrown down. Blink is not done. Ooh, but we do not lock down those Stalkers. A little bit of misplaced force fields. Meanwhile, Euthermal going for his own 2 gates across the map as well. He's crazy. 4 gate versus 4 gate. We do get into that mineral line. We do force field those probes. Stalkers have arrived, and Stats, he takes control of the mineral line. He shuts down and forces back the army. Yeah, probes are going down, and we contain Euthermal to a 1 base economy. Oof. Stats does bleed out a Stalker. Does bleed it out. But he does maintain this position. And this is all he has to do. Just deny mining and reinforce. Stats, he just has the better economy. He's got 2 bases against the 1 of Euthermal. Euthermal is going to try and break out. Blink is finishing up in 2 seconds. Blink is on the way. Now kicking in for Euthermal. And with that, he has more micro potential. Does bleed out a Stalker. Ooh, does miss one of those blinks. Misses a second. Bit of miscontrol there from Euthermal. Bleeds out 2 Stalkers. Yeah, and with that Stats, he just maintains the Stalker lead. Gets the Pylon as well. Pylon is going to be going down. Euthermal, I mean, we may as well force a recall. He's going for a counterattack. Hoping to force a recall. Back at home, what do we have? What is Stats working with? He has an Immortal. He has an Overcharge. He has an Immortal. He goes for a Warp In. Has a handful of units. Is this enough to hold on? We go for the Blink. We focus down the Shield Battery. Good start here by Euthermal. Does get the Shield Battery, pushing into the natural. Meanwhile, I think Stats wants to kill the Nexus before he recalls. The Immortal goes down. Good pick off there from Euthermal. Gets the Immortal, but there's another Immortal on the high ground. And Stats, he holds. He does recall back home. He kills the Nexus of Euthermal. He's down to 1 base. It's a 1 base all-in against Immortals. It's not going to happen. It's not going to work out. Does drag out the army. But Euthermal's army, it's battered and bruised. It cannot fight head-on. Not anymore. And Stats, he shakes this all the way back to the gateways. Yeah, the force fields get thrown down. GG gets called, and Stats, he will take game number 1. And Twisted Fairy will win the series at least 4-1. GG, well played. Again, it was a rough start for Offside, especially with the PvP. I think they were relying a lot on Firefly. I feel like a lot of pressure was on Firefly to get a win there, because he didn't. Unfortunately, you know, things started off a little bit poorly there for Offside. Rex did bounce back, but Euthermal unable to keep up with the PvP of Stats. Does mean Twisted Fairy have confirmed their spot as top 2. They will be advancing on to the grand finals, but not before we get into game number 2 between these 2 players. This is still going to lead to game 2. We will still play it out. And Euthermal, it's his map of choice. It is going to be his map. And again, there was a little bit less pressure on this series anyway, as Offside has already made it into Codes. But here we go. In the bottom left, we have Stats for Twisted Fairy. And in the top right, once again, rolling Protoss, it's Euthermal for Offside. Once again, the PvP, that's a little bit unlucky. A little bit. Again, Euthermal, his best race is his main race. It's Terran. Terran would have been his best chance to bounce back. I mean, his Protoss isn't bad, don't get me wrong, but it is going to be an uphill battle, and thankfully we're not tempted to go for the gold. Remember what we spoke about in that last game on Dynasty, there's a reason why Stats didn't take his own gold base, because of how abusable that base is, as we saw. Euthermal tried to take the gold in game 1, he was punished hard for it. And here on Alkyone, despite the race, he should still be able to get into a much more solid game in towards the mid game. There's no gold to tempt him to expose himself. I mean, I guess there is a gold base on this map, but I don't think I've ever seen this gold taken as the natural in a PvP. In other matchups, sure, but in a PvP, mate, never. That's wild. It's not gonna happen. Oh, actually, now that I think about it, I think Hero's taken the gold base in the PvP before as a natural. But that was specifically against Max Packs when Max Packs went for a gate expand. So there's a caveat to it. It's like, there's a reason why Hero got away with it. That's only because it was Max Packs. That's the only scenario. Meanwhile, it's going to be a 2-gate opener. It's going to be double gateways here for Stats. 2-gate from... Oh wait, no, sorry, my apologies. It's going to be a 2-gate opener from Euthermal. I believe it's a gate expand from Stats, right? I believe that's only one gateway on the high ground. Let's go. Could be mistaken. I may have missed the ramp. And there it is. So it's going to be a gate expand, greedy economic opener here at the Stats, doing his best Max Packs impression. And shield batteries on the way. So Max Packs is going. Sorry, Stats. He's going for a faster Nexus. Meanwhile, Euthermal going for his 2-gate opener instead. I believe the same build as game 1 from Stats. Meanwhile, we do see Euthermal going for the Robo. He's tempted. Show us the 1 base all in. No, never mind. He's going for the expansion. Still going for the Robo. Now, with this Robo, we can go for a Warp Prism. We can go for a passive Warp Prism into a Depth Harass into the main. We can bypass the ramp and go straight for the main base and get some economic damage done that way. So Euthermal, he has some kind of harassment potential. And I believe the Robo has been unscouted. I believe. For now, as Hallucination Scout is coming in and Stats, he will get eyes on the Robo. Also confirms the expansion, so he knows it's not a 1 base all in. Stats, he sees all. Meanwhile, his own natural is up and running. Is looking to saturate it. There's that Warp Prism on the way that we did mention. Again, this should be for a Depth Harass from the side of Euthermal. But it's going to be difficult getting across the map because Stats has already seen what's coming. So we'll see if Stats can hold on. Behind this, Stats does have the worker lead, does have the better saturation. Getting into his 2nd gateway. Forge as well for +1. And very fast +1, by the way, from Stats. Very greedy, actually. Rushing into those upgrades. Oh, he does get eyes on the Prism. Big scout there from Stats. And Euthermal, he's going for, I imagine, the Force Field. Oh my god. Okay, so we have Adepts threatening the natural. We're going to have Sentries going for the main. I'm sure the move that Euthermal wants to go for is a Force Field on the ramp to cut up the army of Stats, but you can see that he has Stalkers in position. And we're going for Glaives. Oh my god. Very committed here by Euthermal. Glaives, they don't scale well into the mid to late game. Like, this is a very aggressive build here from him, building up Immortals, working towards Glaive Adepts. We do manage to get into that mineral line. We do end up force fielding some of these Stalkers. We go straight for the Prism, straight for the Sentries. We get one. And this has not been worth it. At the same time, Adepts, they shade into the natural, but Stats, he shuts them down. Good defense here. Euthermal, he bleeds out 2 Adepts and 2 Sentries, and he gets 1 probe? 1 probe! Ay, ay, ay. Not a good trade here from Euthermal. We have a massive gateway explosion, 2 base all in. Euthermal, he's got 4 gates on the way. It's going to be a 2 base all in here from Euthermal. Adepts and Immortals. It's all or nothing. I say that he does throw down a pylon at the 3rd. I wonder if he's just trying to fake out a 3rd or if he intends to take it. We'll see how hard he commits here. So he's going to be pushing. Like, Stats did see the pylon. That could throw him off. Oh, yeah, Stats is taking a third base. Uh-oh. He's going for a gateway explosion of his own. Still getting up and running. Again, new thermal, he has not expanded. He's banking up resources here for the warp in. Glaives is about to finish up in a couple of seconds. And what does Stats have to defend? Oh god, again, Stats, he threw down gateways. He's going for +2, going for charge, being very tech heavy. And now he realizes what's going on. And I'm not certain he can save that third. Yeah, the Immortals, they have arrived. The all-in is here. And Stats, he's not ready for it. Just now throwing down his shield batteries. They're getting up and running. The third base is cancelled. The gateways do finish, though. The gateways, they are done in time. Threatening the shade. And we're going to be diving in. Yeah, we commit to shade. We go for the sentries. Force fields have been thrown down. We do zone away those Immortals. We can juggle them over the ramp, over the wall. Overcharge is barely keeping that cannon alive. It's putting in so much work. Shield battery is targeted, but we do get an Immortal. We're down to 1. Oh, we're down to 0. We blink on top of the army. We shut down the Immortal. Now it's only Adepts. No more Immortals. GG gets called. Stats, he holds. He had no idea what was coming. He was not ready for the all-in, but he does survive. And Stats takes the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Again, Euthermal, he did catch Stats off guard. He faked out the third base. Stats, he was woefully underprepared. He had a handful of units to defend. But a quick reaction out of Stats. He threw down the cannons, the shield batteries. His gateways did finish in time. And Stats was able to hold on there. Really good target firing and force fields. Remember, the first wave of force fields were crazy from Stats. Just zoning away those Immortals, forcing them to be juggled over the wall, of course. And they were focused down one after the other. The overcharge as well put in a lot of work. That cannon survived for so long. It was crazy how many hits it took. GG. GG, well played. Yeah, the Shield of Ire. He does it again. He holds. Congratulations to Twisted Fairy. My condolences to Offside. Offside is going to be knocked out of the tournament, but they did qualify for Code S. So again, they put in the work. They've made it into the main event. And now we're going to be following Twisted Fairy into the next series. Up next, Twisted Fairy versus Berserker Esports to determine our Code A champion. Let's go. Let us go. As we are going to be catching up here with our next series. And we have our lineup. Again, no breaks on this train. Our lineups are revealed. Here we go. Berserker Esports versus Twisted Fairy. Up first, we have Mixu versus Nice, followed by Battle B versus Classic, and Gung Fu Banda versus Stats. Twisted Fairy, once again, they're fielding their Protoss lineup. The Protosses they have lined up, their strongest lineup here are Nice, Classic, and Stats. Meanwhile, Berserker, I want to say this is one of their strongest lineups. Battle B, Gung Fu Banda, and Mixu. DNS is absent. DNS is not here this time, not here tonight. Instead, Mixu has risen to the challenge. Okay. I do appreciate the variety here. It's going to be a ZVP, TVP, and PvP. Every Protoss matchup you could ask for is here. Let's go. Let us go. And again, this is to determine our champion for Code A. I mean, Berserker and Twisted Fairy, they've both been doing so well for themselves, achieving so much already. There's a pretty stacked lineup here for both teams. I want to give the edge to Twisted Fairy. I do think that Twisted Fairy are favored, but as I say every time we cast him, Gung Fu Banda is such a wild card, right? Like, there's one week where he can rock up and he can, like, beat Max Packs, and there's another week where he can rock up and he loses to, like, I don't know, like Arts. Like, I don't know, like, Gung Fu Banda, he's such an inconsistent player. That's it. He's an inconsistent player, difficult to read. At times he can be on fire, at other times he can be very lukewarm. We'll see which Gung Fu Banda we get this week. We shall see. That Twisted Fairy logo, it's pretty good. It's a pretty wild fairy. It's crazy. She's crazy, Bobby. She's crazy. Aye. On top of the brain. Oh my god. But here we go. We have our first matchup. It's going to be Mixu versus Nice. Game 1 on Dynasty. Here we go. Yo, a shout out to Dave Testa in the chat. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Hello, papi. Hello. Having map pick as random doesn't help much, I guess. True, true. Right? It's like, because even you don't know what race you're going to be rolling as random. Does make things quite brutal. Beautiful lineup for Berserker. I mean, one of each race. Balanced, papi. Balanced. Berserker is balanced. And here we go. We're diving into game 1. In the top right-hand corner, we have Mixu for Berserker. And in the bottom left, we have Nice for Twisted Fairy. Let's go. Estoy bien. ¿Y tú? También, papi, también. I recently got back. I say recently, like 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, I got back from Europe, from Poland, and I immediately got sick. I got COVID, I think, on the trip back, on the flight back. I immediately got sick, and because of that, I've been taking it easy. I've been recovering for the past like 3 weeks, and I'm almost 100%. I'm almost there. I'm like at like 98%. I'm still like coughing every now and then, and my lungs aren't at full capacity. Like I've been having a brutal cough for the past couple of weeks, but for the most part, I'm over it. For the most part, I have recovered, which is why we're back on our full-time casting schedule. Let's go. That's why we casted KSL this weekend for the first time in a long time, papi. I don't know if you noticed, we casted KSL live for the first time in like 3 months. I missed you guys, papi. I missed you guys, but we're back. We're back. Oh, good. We are back. But here we go. We're settling on in. For those that are curious, a big shout out to Dave Tessa. Check out his channel. Dave is one of the great minds behind the KSL, behind the Korean StarCraft League. Without Dave, the KSL would not be possible. So give some respect. You know, pay your respects. Give some love. Give some love to Dave. Much love, Pappy. Much love. Fellow community caster. Fellow caster in StarCraft. Otherwise, we're selling on in. It's going to be Hatch Gas Pool, standard open out of Mixu, Hatch Gas Pool out of our Zerg player. Meanwhile, we have Nice going for a gate expand, taking the gold base. Yo, meanwhile, big shout out to Smart Shaded in the chat, _SC2. God, thank you so much for subscribing for 5 months, almost half a year. Thank you so much for the support. Gracias, papi, gracias. Hope you enjoy the content. Hope you enjoy the casting. We always appreciate the support. As always, papi, as always. Much love, much love. As again, we are settling into this. As we mentioned before, here on Dynasty, it is a little bit more difficult for the Zerg player to abuse that gold base. It's why we often see Zerg players avoid the gold. We can see Mixu taking the standard natural location. He shouldn't be taking the gold until he does work towards it as a third or a fourth. We can see here his third base is going to be the triangular base here towards the left-hand side. Should be holding off on that gold until a little bit longer once Mixu has map control. Otherwise, that gold base is a bait. It's quite a bait. You don't want to make it. You don't want to take it too early. Meanwhile, Nice going to be threatening the bases, going for a very fast forge. Wait, what? Insanely fast forge here at a Nice. Rushing into +1, going for a Twilight Council opener. This is a wild build. We're rushing into +1. Is this going to be charge? I'm curious. I'm very curious here. Forge is done. Nice. He's barely getting the money for it. He should have enough for +1 momentarily. There it is. +1 is on the way. So very fast +1. This should be a charge all in. With the gold base, this would make sense. We have a gateway explosion. 2 more gates are on the way. We're waiting for the Twilight Council to confirm the tech, to confirm the build. Ooh, it's going to be Blink. Okay, you have my attention. It is going to be a Blink-based opener. This is crazy. We're going for a third base. Really fast +1. I'm curious how this all pieces together. Now, what this does lead to is going to be actually quite a strong +2 timing from Nice. Very strong +2 timing. And we could even try and coincide that with some Robotech as well. More gateways are on the way, by the way. I believe that's going to be 4 gates in total for the time being. It has 3 more gates getting thrown down. Oh my god. Did I say 4 gates? We're going up to 7 gateways. And there's an 8th. Okay, it's going to be 8 gate blink. It's going to be a 3 base all in. 3 base all in here out of Nice. 8 gate blink. Jesus. No robo, by the way. Well, that's a hefty amount of gateways here. Meanwhile, Mixu, he's now taking his gold base as his 4th, as I mentioned. You can see that Mixu's even taking it on the other side. Now, the advantage of taking the gold base on the other side of the minerals is that you gain access to the rich Vespine gas geyser. There's a rich Vespine gas over on the other side. And likewise, it is now a more secure base for Mixu. Meanwhile, gateways are finishing up. We're working towards +2, as you mentioned. It is going to be a strong +2 timing. Oh, accidental hallucinated Colossus there. I think that was meant to be a Phoenix, so a little bit unfortunate. But the Colossus is moving out. Getting a scout off. Let's go. we get eyes on the 4th at least. We confirm the 4th base and the Queens. Aye. But the gateways are getting up and running. Charge is on the way. Interesting. Are we just going to work towards Colossi? I assumed that we were going to be hitting an all-in with Blink finishing, but no, we're calming things down, reinforcing with Zealots. I'm kind of like just sitting back and watching. I want to see, like, nice, he's cooking right now. He's cooking. Can he cook? I'm ready for it. Charge is being prioritized alongside +2. Prism is on the way. Back at home, Mixu is getting into his gold base saturation, working towards Lingbane Roach Ravager. Working towards an infestation bit as well. Is going to be spotted by the hallucination. This time, actual Phoenix hallucination scout. Let's go. And Mixu, that gold base is getting up and running. That is going to really kick in a couple of seconds. Rich gold minerals and the rich gas geyser as well. That is going to give Mixu quite a boost. We'll see if Nice can push in. As we're still waiting a little bit longer for Charge and +2 to kick in. We still need a couple more seconds. Nice does not want to hit an anti-timing. Zealots are spotted. Mixu amassing an army. I don't think he has any Banelings ready yet. There we go. 11 Banelings are on the way. They're not ready yet, though. We need a little bit more time. Here we go. The army has arrived. The mass amount of gateways, no Immortals, no Colossi, no Robotech whatsoever, just a purely a gateway army. We blink on top of the Banelings, and the Banelings, they do finish. They crash into mainly the Stalkers. Zealots, they have arrived, no more Banelings left. We're getting on top of the Roaches. We're trying to. Zealots, they were busy with the Queens. More reinforcements on the way. And Nice, can he get on top of this? He's bleeding out of Zealots. Files, they do connect. And even though Mixu, he's bleeding out some Roaches here, he has reinforcements on the way. He's holding! He's shutting this down. Again, the gold base just added so much economy here to this. Mixu, he has a massive army. He completely shuts this down. And Nice, he has almost nothing left. He threw away his entire army. He's down to, what, 4 Stalkers? And he can maybe buy a little bit of time, but Mixu, he should know he has momentum on his side. He's knocking down those rocks, and he should be pushing. You see the Stalkers being an annoyance? Dragging him back. They do pull him back home. But again, Mixu, he's on the cusp of maxing out. Also on melee on the way, more Banelings, more Lings. Stalkers are doing what they can. They do focus down a couple of drones, at least. Meanwhile, you can see on the minimap, Mixu is killing the rocks. He's knocking down the rocks, getting ready for his siege. Nice, he's looking secure on 3 bases, but taking a 4th, it's going to be a mountain to climb. It's going to be difficult. So here we go. Mixu denies mining at the gold. Going for a Baneling drop into the natural. It collapses on the Stalkers. Does force them back. The Banelings, they crash in. No reaction. 17 probes go down. An insane amount of damage. And Nice, he gets knocked down to a 2-base economy. Is warping across the map. He's, again, trying to distract Mixu more than anything, but isn't really getting much done. He's only got a handful of units. And Mixu doesn't care. He's breaking into the natural. It is going to be difficult. SimCity working against Mixu. Nice, he's going to be able to hold on. Nice, he is holding. Another Baneling drop being set up once again by Mixu. Ooh, bleeding out a lot of Roaches, actually. Not the best trade for Mixu. Meanwhile, Nice focusing down more drones. Getting a handful of workers here and there. Again, Nice, he's making the best out of a bad situation. Like, he's really getting as much value as he can. But there's only so much he can do as though once again, the Balins, they come back in. Another 6 probes go down. Ay, ay, ay. And Mixui still has the economy and production to sustain himself, to hold on, to shut down this army. Well, these are some expensive losses for Nice. Bleeding out Stalkers. It's going to be 9 dead probes across the map. Nice, he gets knocked down to 25 probes. But he is mining from the gold. And he does deny the gold of Mixu. For now. For now, as here come the reinforcements, and there's no way out of here, at least for the Zealots. Mixu, he does hold. Does protect his gold. And unfortunately, Nice just doesn't have any other tech behind this. There's no Colossi, there's no Disruptors, no Immortals, no Storm, no Sky Toss. This is all he has. We're huffing a little bit of copium here, a little bit. And we're on 25 probes. I mean, ay, ay, ay. As Mixu is pretty safe and secure, we're going to be bleeding out a Queen. But with our reinforcements, the Zealots, they do get shut down. The gold base has gotten quite low. Like, again, I'm quite impressed by what Nice has been able to pull off. It is impressive. But there's still just so much to overcome, and yeah, Nice, he gets knocked down to a handful of Stalkers. GG gets called, the writing was on the wall, and Mixu does take game number 1 of our best of 7 grand finals. GG, let's go. GG, well played. Mixu, again, he was allowed to be quite greedy here. He was able to get into his natural, into his third, into his fourth, take advantage of that gold base, and Nice had a very odd build. I was pointing it out at the time how unorthodox it was to go Forge first. It was a Forge opener into a delayed Twilight Council, into Blink, then into Charge, into 8 gateways, but he didn't push on 8 gateways. He saturated his third and he just chilled back at home. It was a bit of a Frankenstein of a build there, and I was really curious where it was leading, and it did lead into a 2-base timing. Sorry, no 2-base timing, into a plus. Golden Aura is coming up next here. As a reminder, this is a best of 2, it's loser's pick. And Nice has an opportunity to bounce back here on a bit of a smaller map. Smaller, rush distance is shorter, at least compared to Dynasty. Can be a little bit more assertive here, and really my eyes are on Nice. We saw it already, we saw it previously against Rex, we saw it here against Mixu. Nice is not the most standard of players, and here we go in the top left hand corner, we have Mixu for Berserker. And in the bottom right, we have Nice for Twisted Fairy. But yeah, Nice, he comes up with his own builds a lot of the time. If you tune into his stream, you know, you can see the process of him coming up with his builds and trying things out. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Our last game was an example of when it doesn't. I do think that that build has more potential on a map that isn't Dynasty. Again, just because it hits so late, it's dangerous to do there, just because it allows the Zerg player to take that gold, to saturate it, to snowball out of control. So I can definitely see it having a little bit more success with some of these other maps instead. But for now, we are settling into game number 2. We're getting into game number 2 here. Nice, once again going Nexus first. Let's go Nexus first here out of Nice. A bit of a greedier build, greedier opener. Nexus into Gateway. So already, Nice, diverting from the norm. Meanwhile, Mixu going for a Hatch Gas Pool. Standard opener out of our Zerg player. It is going to be a standard build. Do have interesting, so it's going to be a Nexus first into a 2-gate opener. Now with a 2-gate opener, we can get into faster or a much more committed Adept opener into 2 Adepts, then 4 Adepts. We can apply a lot of pressure. So this is going to be a bit of a more aggressive follow-up here from Nice, assuming he does move out with those Adepts. We shall see. Cyber Core is now on the way. We're going for a Zealot first just to be safe. Again, because of the build, are going for that Zealot. We could opt to cancel the Zealot before it finishes. See if we do. As Mixu does scout across the map, he does confirm the production. He also gets eyes on the fact that the Nexus is already done. So Mixu is aware of the build. He's aware of the opener. Wings are moving out. The first Zealot is going to complete. We do fully wall off. Cybercore is done, and now we can get into our depths. Oh, never mind. We go for our tech first. It is going to be a Stargate opener here. From Nice. Stargate first into Warp Gates. We do delay the Adepts instead, so Mixu, he's free to drone. He's free to drone up. No Adepts to threaten him, no Adepts to harass. Looks like Nice only went for the 2 gateways just to be safe, just to wall up. Just to defend. As we are now getting into our depths, but a little bit later. So delayed Adept aggression here. Which means Mixu, he has time to drone up, to get into link speed, more importantly. Is going to be that much easier to deal with the Adepts early on. With that link speed kicking in. Interesting, and we are going Void Ray first. Okay. Now, if you remember, if you were here for it, we saw a lot of Void Ray openers against Rex earlier today. With Nice versus Rex. The Void Ray is going to be hunting down these Overlords, and behind this, we can take up in a couple of different directions. We'll see what we invest into. Third base is being taken. Nice shading across the map. Does threaten that mineral line, but there's nothing to kill. No drones in position. Mixu will hold. And he wants one of those Adepts. Oh, can he get it? It's going to be close. It looks like he barely will not. The Adepts, they do escape. Just barely. They do make it out. Void Ray is revealed. We do shut down the first Overlord. And we're going for an Oracle behind it. As the Adepts do make it back home, and so far so good. Oh my god, as we're rushing into a fleet beacon! And this is the power of the Void Ray opener. Because of this Void Ray, we have no scouting. No scouting here from Mixu, no Overlords in position. We do not know what's coming up next. It could be Glaive Adepts, it could be double Stargate Void Ray, it could be a Tempest Rush, it could be a standard build and a standard game. Mixu has no idea. Second Stargate's on the way. We're rushing into Sky Toss. Let's go. Oh boy. Now, thankfully, I believe Mixu did go for a faster lair. So with the completion of that lair, we should be able to go for an Overseer Scout once it does finish up. Ooh, +1 air attack has started. If Mixu gets eyes on the Cybercore, then he will know what's going on. As there's no reason for the Cybercore to be researching. That's another way to scout. Is another way. Saves trap in the main. Good reaction out of Mixu. Very nice reaction. Only one drone gets caught. And we are rushing into carriers. I was curious if it was going to be a Tempest Rush or a Carrier Rush. We have our answer. Carriers are on the way. Carriers are on the way, and Mixu still does not know. Still has to piece it together. We have Overlord Speed on the way. Balin S gets thrown down. And Roach Speed in production as well. Now with Overlord Speed, we should be able to get a scout off as the Oracle gets into that third base. 4 drones go down. Very nice damage done there by Nice. As he's hunting down more Overlords. Queens are out of position. Another Overlord goes down. Here comes that Overseer Scout, but we have a Void Ray to deny it. As I do see Mixu throwing down a Hydrogen, makes sense to go into the mid game. I don't think he's fully aware of what's going on yet, but the Hydras will help. Hydras, they will help as the first carrier rallies across the map. This feels a little bit early. But it looks like Nice. Yeah, he shows his hand. Spire immediately gets thrown down. Now Mixu knows. He cancels the Hydrogen and goes to the Spire. And what can Nice get done? Oh, spores are on the way. How many queens do we have? Queens are trying to rotate around. At the same time, we do get into that third base. Drones are falling. Flush transfuse. We keep the queens alive. We get on top of the Void Ray, and Nice. He overextends. Bleeds out of Void Ray. But the carriers, they stand strong. We have 8 queens in position, but the transfuse are running out. We're running out of transfused energy. 1 queen goes down. 2nd queen as well. And barely a 3rd. With the arrival of these spores, we should be able to hold on. But we did get 3 queens. And 3 drones. Behind this, nice, he hasn't lost a single carrier. We're getting into a mothership. More carriers on the way. But the Spire's about to finish. With the completion of the Spire, we can get into Corruptors and Queens, into a more robust army. But again, this was a late scout out of Mixu. That's why these carriers have done so much already. And we're transitioning to Blink Stalkers. Let's go. Blink is on the way. Gateways as well. Nice. He's ready for a ground transition, or at least to support the army with Blink Stalkers. And the Overseer will get eyes on at least some of this. Yeah, Templar Archives is on the way. That makes sense. We need Storm. We need Archons. We're getting ready for the late game. We're getting ready for Skytoss. As much as we say, you know, Skytoss is the ideal late game for Protoss and PvZ, there is, you know, more to it. You do need a ground army to support yourself. You need Archons, Storm, potentially Disruptors, and Colossus, depending on what you're up against. Blink Stalkers. Skytoss on its own is not as threatening. So nice, he's refining his army. Meanwhile, we do see Mixu likewise doing the same. Hive is on the way. Corruptors have spawned in. Getting into our upgrades. We're in for a long game. Strap yourselves in, Papi. Strap yourselves in. It's gonna be a long one. Aye. As I imagine, Nice intends to turtle up and max out. He's on 4 bases. Pretty good setup. 5th base is on the way. And again, it's on Nice to defend these bases. Meanwhile, Mixu, I love that as he has map control, he's going for the gold. He's rushing into the gold base as quickly as possible. Does need to saturate it. And that will help with max out. So we're setting up for a Baneling drop towards the 3rd. Is on the way. We're sending out our Banelings. Roaches are amassing as well. Hive is still finishing up. And we'll see how well Nice can react. And we saw how devastating the Baneling drops were in Game 1. Can Nice keep up? We have Roaches distracting Nice here on the right-hand side. The Baneling drop is coming in. Does come in, and do we react in time? We do! Ooh, 3 probes go down. That could have been so much worse. Good defense here by Nice. At the same time here on the right-hand side, he does respond with his army. Corruptors are coming in, but we have Archons. Okay, we activate the cloak. Where's detection? There is no detection. We are forced to go for the Mothership. Mothership goes down, but the carriers survive. Minus 300, but it paid off. We save every single carrier. And Nice holds. Whew. that was a very tense moment. Very tense moment for Nice, but he does hold on. Is reinforcing. And Mixu's in a bit of trouble. He did throw away quite a bit of supply there. And now you can see that the supplies are quite even. Mixu's maxed. Nice, not too far away. Catches the Trouble Lord. Banelings go down. We catch out some Roaches as well. These are 0-1 Corruptors, by the way. They are not well upgraded. They need more time. The Lings, they flood in. The wall is not a wall. Lings, they bust into the natural base. Probes are going down. At the same time, Nice, he's committed. He may lose the mineral line, but he's getting a base. Better trade for Mixu. Gets 13 probes across the map. Wreaking havoc in the main base as well. He's bringing forward his spores. I love that. He rotates his spores over. The Queens have arrived as well. We have Transfuse. And can Mixu hold? Nice is pushing in. Trying to force his way in. He has no splash damage, has no storms. The Archons, they hold the line. Corruptors, they come in from behind. They collapse on the carriers. 1 carrier, 2 carriers go down. It looks like the Corruptors, they should clean this up. Every single carrier does fall, but what about the ground army? Uh-oh. What about the ground army? We may have killed all the Skytoss, but the Zealots and Stalkers, they're wreaking havoc, they're breaking through. We collapse on the Roach Warren. Roach Warren goes down. 15 Roaches are on the way, but Nice, he may just have too much. Again, it wasn't about the Skytoss, it was about the ground army instead. We're getting on top of the Spire as well. 12 Broodlords are on the way. The Broodlords, they're coming. But we need more time. We need desperately more time here. Broodlords are in production. As Zealots, they wreak havoc at the 3rd. More Zealots on the way where they catch the Infestor. We kill 1 Spire. We're going for the Greater Spire. We get it. 12 Brood, that's all we have. That's all we do have. We force a recall. And Mixu, he's in a world of hurt. He's down to 52 workers. That's a lot of, that's a lot of High Templar. That's a lot of High Templar morphing in. Storm just started. Uh-oh, that's a little bit awkward. Storm just started. The High Templar, they have to morph into Archons. Broodlords are on the way. We need Blinkstalkers. We desperately need far more Blinkstalkers here. The Broodlords, that may be too much. Mixu, he may not have an economy. His economy may be in shambles, but he has the better army. He morphed in every Corruptor into his Broodlords. There's nothing in the air. 1 or 2 Void Rays, that could be all we need. But we have no Skytals. We blink on for we focus on one of the Broodlords. Overcharge is popped. Nice, can he hold? Okay, there's 11 Broodlords left. One of them is very low though. So far, nice, he's holding. Vipers have arrived. They need a little bit more energy though. As we dive in once again, we get another Brood. We get 2. We get 2 more Broodlords, we're down to 9. 9 Broodlords, massive Broodling shots going off though. We force back the army, we collapse on top of the Archons. They're going down one after the other. That's a lot of Blinkstalkers though. It's a lot of Stalkers, we're diving in, we have Storm. Focus on another Brood, down to 8. And the Storms, they collapse here, they just blanket the army, blanket the Roaches. Roaches are going down, we dive on the Broodlords once again. Clutch Transfuse. We're down to 8 Broodlords. We're barely holding on. The Infestor, no! Infestor goes down. And nice, he warps in another round of Stalkers and he's hunting down those Broods. Now Mixu, he's rebuilding that Greater Spire. It's on the way. I believe he's down to 8 Broodlords, but he can soon rebuild. Nice, once again moving out. Get a very tense moment. This entire time, Nice has had an overwhelming economy. He's got 86 probes. Zealot drop into the main. Creep is being cleared up. Spores as well. Yo, Mixu, I can't believe his gold base has been left untouched. This entire time, his gold base has been happily mining. I don't think Nice has realized until now. Zealot drop into the main. It looks like finally we collapse on the gold. We can shut it down, but it has paid for itself. I'm sure a big reason as to how Mixu was able to afford those Broodlords. Oh, as we don't just shut down the gold. Do we have a recall? Here come the Broods. Oh, we bleed out another Broodlord though. There's not many left. Yeah, there's not many left here for Mixu. And there may just be too much Protoss. Yeah, we focus on another and another. We're down to 4 Broodlords. Clutch a Blinding Cloud. We're barely holding on, but the Zealots are wreaking havoc in the main base. 25 drones go down. And it looks like there's just too much Protoss. A good fungal. Very nicely done. Oh, but these Zealots, what about the Zealots? What about the charge lots as they take down 32 workers, they collapse here into the main base, they shut down the tech, and they shut down the main. Mixu, he does have a bit of a bank to work with, but I believe the Hive should be going down. The Hive, the Lurker Den, the Hydra Den, the Infestation Pit, and the Spires. Ooh, as the Greater Spire barely survives. Oh my god. Okay, that's another 3 Broods. I think that's 5 in total, I think he kept 2 alive. I'm trying to keep track of the Broodlords. 3 more on the way. Hydras were amassing. Yep, there we go. We had 2 alive, so it's 5 in total. We're getting into Tempest. Uh-oh. Yeah, I mean, that's all we needed. A couple of Tempest or carriers, something in the eye, something in the sky, something in the air. So we do at least force Nice back for the time being, but Nice, he's taking top right. He's freely mining. Mixu is down to 3 bases, down to 42 workers. The longer this goes on, the better it is for Nice. Again, Mixu took him a little bit to recognize what was going on. Not just that, but even with Mixu maxing out, unfortunately, he didn't have enough of a ground army to keep up with the Stalkers and the Zealots. Whether it was, you know, Lurkers or Broodlords or a stronger Roach presence. A Roach Ravager presence even. And GG gets called. It's just too much. And Nice ties up the series 1-1. GG. Whew, GG, well played. You don't often see it, but Nice. He gets away with rushing into that Sky Toss, going for the carriers. A bold... And here we go, we're getting to our next game, and spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have Battle B for Berserker. And in the bottom right, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Protoss Classic for Twisted Fairy. The ace player for Twisted Fairy is coming out. Again, Classic looking dominant earlier, was able to get his revenge against Firefly. Classic did 2-0 Firefly in the last series. Likewise, Classic was also competing in ESL Open Cup Asia as well. He's been playing all night, and he's ready for some Terran. Meanwhile, Battle B, what do we have to offer? Battle B has been looking very impressive as of late. He's been looking very impressive. I know that Battle B, he's been an up-and-coming player for a long time. He's been, you know, in the middle of the pack when it comes to the European Terran players for a very long time, trying to break out, trying to break free. I do know that Battle B took some time off, like he, kind of eased off the pedal, I want to say in 2023, like end of 2022, 2023, Battle B started competing less, but he seems to be back. Seems to be back in full form, in full force, and he's been looking damn good. He has been looking impressive. It was yesterday where we casted Battle B versus Mondo. I say yesterday, it was a couple of days ago, where we did cast Battle B versus Mondo. Likewise, Battle B versus Fighting Frog as well. Battle B has been looking good. Looking solid. But can he compare and can he compete with Classic? That's the question. As Classic is one of the best Protoss in South Korea. Not one to be taken lightly. There's a reason why he's the ace player for Twisted Fairy. We'll see what we got. Meanwhile, oh my god, we are going for we're going for a very greedy build, by the way. I was doing a bit of a double, okay, we're good. I was doing a bit of a double take, sorry, I was looking away. I say a greedy build. It is going to be a Rax Expand Economic Opener, just an Economic Opener out of Battle B. For a moment there, I saw the Orbital and I saw the CC in production, and I thought he was going third CC before Factory. I was like, hold up. Look, it's past midnight here. Give me a break, Papa. Give me a break. But I thought it was going for a third CC before Factory. I was like, oh, he's crazy. It is just going to be a Rax Expand into a Factory build here. Just an Economic Opener out of Battle B. Meanwhile, Classic is going for his tech. He's going for his Twilight Council Opener. Let's go. We are easing our way into this game. With our Twilight Council, this should be Blink. Should be a Blink-based build. Whether it's 2-gate Blink, 3-gate Blink, or 4-gate Blink, yet to be determined. We'll keep an eye on Classic and figure out how aggressive he wants to be. The way this works is 2-gate Blink can lead into a faster third base, very economic. 3-gate Blink is middle of the road. Middle of the road allows you to gain map control, push across the map while expanding. 4-gate Blink is much more aggressive. Not all in, but much more aggressive, much more assertive. Much more in the face of the Terran. The Adept does get across the map, does confirm the opener, does get eyes on the building starport, does confirm the 1-1-1. Behind this, that is an additional gateway on the way from Classic. Adept gets across the map. There is going to be a third gateway as well. So for the time being, 3-gate Blink. For the time being, it is going to be 3 gateways. The Reaper does confirm the gateway count. And that should be a tell here for Battle B to get into tank production earlier, sooner rather than later. So it is going to be 3-gate Blink into a Robo. That is going to be for the Warp Prism to reinforce across the map. Battle B getting into very fast tank production. Basically, upon seeing all the gateways and the Twilight Council, we need tanks ASAP, and the first tank is on the way. We did make a safety Cyclone initially, but we should be okay when it comes to the timing of our tanks. Battle B's tanks should be coming out in time. Should be okay. Cyclone just scouting around, hoping to catch the Warp Prism, ideally. Trying to get an eye on any kind of move out. And Classic should soon be expanding. Should soon be expanding. Never mind, we're going to be going for some tech first. Okay, so it's going to be 3-gate Blink into a bay, into a third base. So this is a little bit safer here out of Classic. Prioritizing Colossus production before the third, as other players would maybe go for the third base first and delay their Colossi. So very safe play here from Classic. As he is finally breaking out and should now be expanding. Meanwhile, across the map, Battle B going for the third CC already. So a pretty good timing here with the third, faster than that of Classic, so he is going to have that economic edge. Now we have the third base on the way from our Protoss player. And again, Classic chose to delay that third in favor of the Bay, in favor of Colossi. And finally, Classic is going to be applying some pressure, gets across the map. But we have tanks. We have one tank in the main, and I believe we have a tank in the natural. Like, we are perfectly safe and sound. We should have enough to defend. But would you blink in? We snipe the Raven. Raven does go down. Observer somehow survives. We shouldn't get much more than that. We do deny that starport. We focus down the tech lab. Nicely done. But Stim at least does continue. Is not disturbed. Extended lance is on the way. Charge as well. Colossus production has commenced. It was a decent pickoff here from Classic, but he isn't really threatening Battle B. He isn't killing him anytime soon. He isn't threatening the tanks. He isn't threatening the mineral line. So Classic just picking off whatever he can. Rotating back around. It's on Battle B to try to keep an eye on this rotation. Does have a bunker in position. And all the Classic is doing is containing his opponents, and does get an SCV. But he's just trying to contain Battle B for as long as he can, while Classic gets into his 3-base setup. Scan reveals that Charge is on the way, reveals the gateway explosion. We do dive into the main. Battle B out of position. Does get caught out of position. We do get a pick off here on the add-on. Reactor goes down, we recall back home. Not a bad pick off here from Classic. Bad pickoff as he's reinforcing now with Colossi. He's already got one. He's got a second on the way. Moving out across now. We catch a tank. Ooh, brutal pickoff. Tank goes down. Very nicely done. Even getting the Marauders. He gets one. He gets two. Big pickoffs. Tank and two Marauders here for just energy, for just force fields. That'll be getting picked apart a little bit. He has to pull it together. Cannot slip up like that. Tank is sieged. We hold on to the main base for the natural at least. Big tank shots going up. But we're going for the third base. Tank is out of position. Well, the first tank went down, if you remember. We cannot cover the third. We have the high ground. We're trying to stim in. We collapse here on the Colossus. The first Colossus goes down. But the army blinks on forward. We're going for the tank. We're going for the Marauders. The drop across the map does nothing. GG gets called. Classic, he shuts down the drop. He just snowballs out of control across the map. And Classic takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. You could see how meticulous Classic was and how these small little pickoffs can snowball out of control. For Classic to kill that first tank means that suddenly Battle B, he's not in position to protect his third base. His river is going to be coming up next. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have Battle B for Berserker Esports. And in the top left, we have his opponent, Classic, for Twisted Fairy. Whew, here we go again. Ghost River, as we have mentioned in the past, we've casted it quite a bit here tonight, but it does have a very short rush distance by ground. You can be that much more assertive and that much more aggressive on this map. We'll see if Battle B goes for a double gas opener or another Rax expand. We shall see. Just catching up. Just catching up in the chat. Sent you a DM. Oh, back. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for the DM. Thank you. Do appreciate it. But we are just settling into this. Feral. Shout out to Papa Feral, by the way. For those who are maybe unaware, Feral, he is the owner of Berserker. He's the owner of Berserker Esports. So much love, and congratulations as well for making it into Code S. I know we already said that last time, but congrats nonetheless. As here we go, we are selling in. Stop sending Battle B your smokes. True. Este Kalasi. He owns us. Oh my god, that Berserker. The Viking. He's wild. He won't stop. Catching him with the chat. Cannon rush. Aye. Gotta root for my boy Battlebee even when it feels bad because it's classic. Esther Dave Test. Of course, of course. The family comes first, okay? The family comes first. Gotta cheer for the fam. Gotta cheer for the boys. Meanwhile, shout out to Droptimus in the chat. Oh my god. Get that? It's been a while, Poppy. It's been a while. Thank you so much for subscribing to Twitch Prime. SC2 forever. Thank you so much for the support. Gracias, Papi. Gracias. God. Droptimus, of course. I believe you were a part of Sonic Aftermath back in the day as well. But yeah, thank you so much for the support. Been a part of the community, been a part of the scene for a very, very long time. Gracias, papi, gracias. As we're settling into our next game. And we do see Battlebee did indeed go for a double gas opener, led into a faster factory. Reaper tries to dip in, is denied entry into the main. But with a double gas opener, leads into a factory, into our 1-1-1. Widowmine drop is upon us. Meanwhile, Classic going for a proxy gate. Okay. Applying quite a bit of pressure here already. Forcing the boys off the mineral line, forcing the repair. Reaper does slip in. And that's a lot of gateways. I believe that's going to be 3 gateways for Classic. Mine shot goes off. Takes down the Zealot. The Reaper getting quite a bit done across the map, but the surround is avoided. But the Stalker will clean up that Reaper. Does shut it down. But Classic, he's not going to let up. With that reinforcing gateway, he's going to be able to warp in across the map and just keep it on here on Battlebee. We are dealing some hull damage here. Classic, oh, almost does lose that Stalker. Pulls back just barely. And oh no, the Marine, show us. The depth goes down. The depth and the Stalker, oh my god. Classic overextending. Good pickups here from Battlebee. Does shut down the Stalker and the Adept. We do have our first tank on the way. Mine drop is moving out. Ooh, but is spotted by the Stalker. Yeah, Classic, he does have eyes on it. Does have eyes on it. Does respond. Meanwhile, because the Widowmines are moving out, Battlebee's a little bit vulnerable. Oh, no, never mind. He recalls. I was going to say that we could push into the natural, but we do recall back home. The drop is denied. As Battlebee is forced back. And Classic, he just keeps the pressure on, reinforces once again with more Stalkers. The first tank has arrived, though. It's on the low ground. Bunker's on the way. Second tank in production. Can Battlebee hold? Can we hold on here? As Classic, he's unrelenting, not letting up. As a reminder, I believe there's no Twilight Council with this. There's no Blink. It's just purely vanilla Stalkers. So there's a little bit less finesse here for Classic, but oh, he's pushing forward. Does bring one Stalker forward to tank the shots. There we go, he tanks those shots, gets on top of the tank itself, does focus it down. Good pick off there by Classic, but we have another tank that should be getting in position. The gateway is spotted. Likewise, so is the mine drop. Classic is looking to intercept. Oh god, can we get away? He's coming for it. Behind this, we have a Twilight Council, a Bay on the way for Colossus production. Classic working on the next step. Spread it, fanning out his Stalkers, trying to catch that drop, and it looks like he will. Yeah, volley's going to be going off, and oh my god, it barely does survive. I spoke too soon. Medevac goes down, the drop is denied, and the Widowmines are stranded. Again, very good catch there by Classic. Behind this, getting into his third base. Third Nexus on the way. Widowmines, they just want to get into a mineral line. They just want to get their shots off. They want to unload, Papi. That's all they want. And behind this Classic, we have Colossus production. Twilight Council's done, so we can get into Blink. Prism moves out across the map. Ooh, and we can harass here with some more Stalkers. As the Observer arrives, and we clean up the Widowmines. Not a single shot here. Yeah, brutal cleanup. As we're going for the main. Thankfully, there is a tank. There is a tank in position. Battlebee, he does hold. Does force the Prism back. Behind this, we're getting to Stim. Combat Shields +1. Upgrades are underway. But Classic, he's done quite a bit. He's been able to shut down the drop, shut down the tank, delayed the command center. Is looking comfortable. as Battlebee starts up his own third CC. The problem is that by the time Battlebee moves out, we will have Colossi ready for it. We'll have plenty of Colossi. Battlebee is going to move out. This time he does have the Raven. If you remember, he did lose it in game 1. Does keep it alive. As the army is revealed, Classic, he could go for the drop to the natural. He's going in. The Prism is headed for the natural base. The gateway is cleaned up. And do we get any SCVs? Distracted by the Viking. 1 SCV goes down. Oh, 2 SCVs. Not bad. 2 SCVs for shields, basically. Good pickups there by Classic. Battlebee pushing through the southern side. Does have his Raven. Does have his tanks. Widowmines are shut down. Tanks force the siege up a bit prematurely. Barely out of range. And pushing up these ramps is so difficult. The tanks are within range. No, the first tank goes down. We get the disable off. The second tank falls as well. Some messy force fields, but without tanks, can we break in? Yeah, the overcharge will hold. Decent mine shots, and Battlebee, he avoids the main army, goes for a dive into the main base, gets the robo. A bold move here by Battlebee. Gets the Artosis Pylon. Depowers the Twilight Council, does delay Blink just barely. But never goes off. We avoid it. Good control there out of Battlebee. As he does manage to escape. Wasn't a bad dive, but he is going to be trapped here. He doesn't kill the Colossi. Classic in position. Oh god, be careful. As we are pinned in. Battlebee going for the mineral line. Getting some probe kills. Not bad. Classic not where he needs to be. Just now repowering that Twilight Council. Blink is so late, by the way. So delayed. We're getting to a second robo. Oh, sorry. Rebuilding the first robo as well. We picked off a lot of tech. And Battlebee. It's getting up to his 3 bases. Not looking too bad. Up in supply. Just has to break free those drops. As Classic is getting into Phoenixes. Okay. Fun fact, the Phoenixes only because the Medivacs are trapped. And, oh, that is going to force Battlebee's hand. He's going to have to try to break out. Meanwhile, Disruptor drop here across the map. Never goes off. Ooh. Big connection with the Prism. Prism goes down. The Prism, and we can chase down the Disruptor as well. And yeah, the drops we have to break out. Ay, ay, ay. It's not going to be pretty. The drops are going down. Oh my god. There's no way out, Papi. There's no way out. That's 3 full medevacs. That's brutal. Yeah, we focus on every single one. Oof. Nice catch from Classic. Unfortunately, Battlebee was just a little bit too late to try to break them free. And here we go. We head for the 4th base, trying to force a cancel. Good blinks. Oh my god, we avoid most of those shots. A decent connection on the Zealots. Classic does hold on to his 4th. Will defend. Behind this, Battlebee is getting into his Ghost production. Plenty of Vikings as well. Has a pretty solid army. But that supply lead that he once had is no longer there. After losing those 3 medevacs, Classic, he's back in this. Supply-wise, he is back in this. It's a terrifying army. Prism's on the way. Phoenix lifts up a Marauder. Let's go. Still helping. The Phoenix putting in some work. Again, it's only the 1 Phoenix because of those drops, and it's helping. Oh, can we bait out a shot? Oh my god. Oh, the Phoenix! Oof. Does tank the shot, barely survives. And now we're pushing. Did we rebuild any disruptors, though? I'm not sure if we did. Yeah, just 3 Colossi. Battlebee gets caught out of position, though. Good concave. Yeah, good concave for Classic. 1 Colossus goes down, but we collapse on the army. Vikings are falling one after the other. And how do we deal with the Colossi? How do we get close? We have 1 Viking left. We try to come in from behind. We get 1 more Colossus down. And Classic. He makes his way towards the natural, cutting Battlebee in half. Splitting him in between the bases. And the SimCity working against Battlebee here. It's a brutal choke point. Good juggling here at a Classic. It's just too much, and Classic, he will take the series 2-0. Whew. GG. Does extend the lead here for Twisted Fairy. Again, it was a brutal matchup for anyone to go up against Classic. He is one of the strongest Protoss players out there. One of the best Protoss in the world. And he will take the 2-0. GG, well played. Whew. Does take the 2-0, and now it all comes down to Gung Fu Banda versus Stats. And again, Gung Fu Banda, he is a pretty inconsistent player. He's hard to judge here when it comes to how he's compared to when it comes to these other key players, even in Europe. But I would say that this PvP, we have a good chance here to fight back, but the problem is that Gung Fu Banda needs the 2-0. He needs the 2-0 to claim this series and to force the ace match. The pressure is on Berserker. The pressure is on, and I'm just double checking something here. I mentioned before that I did get a message from Feral earlier, from the owner of Berserker Esports, and unfortunately, and it is unfortunate, it looks like they may not have Gung Fu Banda available. Earlier when I was saying that he's an inconsistent player, I wasn't really referring to, like, you know, whether or not he would be here. I'm referring to his play, like how he compares against the other Protosses in Europe. Specifically, I'm referring to, I want to say, like a month and a half ago, we were casting ESL Open Cup Europe, and Gung Fu Banda, he beat Skillus. He brought Skillus down. We were very impressed. Like, it was a very big win for Gung Fu Banda to bring down top 3 Protoss in EU. As I would say, we have Max Pax followed by Showtime followed by Skillus. So Gung Fu Banda, he can pop off. He can pop off from time to time. He's a wild player out there, and I want to say that he had a chance against Stats as well. But unfortunately, it sounds like Gung Fu Banda is unavailable here tonight. Whether we don't really know what it is. You know, maybe something serious came up, maybe something family related. Uncertain. Hopefully it was something like that and not, you know, Gung Fu Banda sleeping in. It's not that early in Europe. It's not that early. But regardless, I believe that it is going to be a walkover. Let's quickly double check that. Let us quickly double check, and yeah, there we go. We have the updated scores here. Stats, he gets the 2-0 walkover win over Gung Fu Banda. Unfortunate. Would have been amazing to see them face off in that PvP. And with that, Twisted Fairy will be our WTL 2024 Summer Code 8 champions. GG. But wait, do I have a... Hold on. Up. GG, well played. Congratulations, Twisted Fairy. They take down Offside 5-1, and they take down Berserker Esports as well 5-1, claiming that Code A #1 spot. There is the scoreline there. The brackets, let's quickly zoom in. Bam! We had a pretty good run. Honestly, Berserker Esports, they did amazing making it here into the grand finals, taking down Club NV, taking down Twisted Fairy as well in the upper bracket finals. But Twisted Fairy, they get their revenge. They field their A team, their ace team. If you remember, I believe Twisted Fairy fielded some of their lesser players against Berserker earlier. They fielded Fighting Frog, and did they field Coffee as well? Who was it? It was Fighting Frog and Shameless. That's it. Fighting Frog and Shameless. But they come out swinging here in the grand finals, and we have our top 3. Twisted Fairy, followed by Berserker, followed by Offside. These are your WTL Code S qualified players. Qualified teams, sorry. Qualified teams. Congratulations to our top 3. Twisted Fairy, Berserker Esports, and Offside. They're going to be advancing on into Code S to join teams like Basilisk, Shopify Rebellion, Team Liquid, Team Vitality, and many others. The best teams of the world are going to be facing off in Code S. Let me quickly just get you those numbers. Those names. Hold on. Okay. In Code S, we have Basilisk, followed by Dragon KZ Gaming, Mystery Gaming, Team Vitality, Platinum Heroes, Storm Gaming, Shopify Rebellion, Starlight Twinkle, and Team Liquid. Oh boy. That's quite a hefty amount of teams out there. Again, as a reminder, if you're curious about some of these other teams or some of these other players, unfortunately, there are some top players that won't be a part of Code S. I'm talking about Dark, for example. Dark is no longer on Dragon KZ Gaming. He's on Talon Esports, so he won't be a part of this. Likewise, Hero Marine is on Mouse. Showtime is on Big. There are some teams out there that only have a handful of players. Like Cloud9 has Gumiho. Na'Vi has Spirit. Like nowadays, there's a lot of teams that have like 1 or 2 players sort of thing. They don't have a roster to field in WTL. I was hoping that maybe some of those teams would unite and we'd see like a Cloud V or like a Big Mouse. Big Mouse would have been great. Like Showtime and Hero Marine coming together. Big Mouse, let's go. That would have been beautiful, actually. I was hoping we would see some more joint teams. We had a couple of them, right? We had Twisted Fairy, which is Twisted Minds and Little Fairy. We had Hyperberg, which is Hyper One and Freiburg Esports. It would have been great to see some more joint teams, but unfortunately that didn't happen. A lot of those teams didn't come together. Again, Big Mouse, just saying. So yeah, because of that, there are some players that won't be a part of this, but the best of the best teams will be here, and most of those top players like Serral, Rainer for Basilisk, you got Hero for Dragon KZ Gaming, you got Bjorn for Shopify, you got these stacked teams out there. Team Vitality, the reigning champions with Maru, Solar, and Ryung. Oh boy, are looking to claim another crown. Can they be stopped? We, of course, will eventually find out in the coming weeks. Meanwhile, a big shout out to you know who you are. The Brechis Kivis, you know what? The big boy himself. Yeah, thank you so much for resubscribing for 4 months in a row. Thank you so much. Dzień dobry, papi, dzień dobry. Ga, papi, ga. I can't pronounce that. Okay, so it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. But thank you so much for the subscription. Thank you so much for the support. We do appreciate it. We do because of the support we get, we are able to host our own events. If you enjoy the broadcast, Patreon. And if an attempt was made, we had an attempt. Patreon in the chat. We do, or the Patreon is set up to fund our tournaments. Tournaments like Sea Duckling Open, Master Swan Open, and Sparkling Tuna Cup as well. Patreon is the place to be. Otherwise, you can just follow us. Follow us on Twitch. Follow us on YouTube. We have a Discord. We have a Twitter. We have a Facebook. We have an Instagram. All things CranKy Ducklings. Thank you so much for watching. It was a long broadcast here tonight. We wrapped up 2 events back to back, and we're going to be back tomorrow with some, I believe, ESL Open Cup action. Okay, tomorrow we're going to be back with ESL Open Cup Americas. That is going to be in 8 hours. 8 hours? Oh. Yes, that's going to be in 8 hours time. I'm going to go and get some rest. I'm going to go to bed. The event starts in 8 hours. We might go live like an hour in. We might go live like an hour or 2 into ESL Americas. That will most likely happen just so we can get some sleep and get some food. So, just be aware. It might be a bit of a later start to the broadcast tomorrow, but yeah, we're gonna be live tomorrow with ESL Americas. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the support. We do appreciate it, and a big shout out to Rainer. I mean, we had a lot of raids. We had a lot of raids here tonight. We had Rainer. We had sort of a lot of support in the chat. Thank you so much. Remember GSL. GSL qualifiers are in a couple of days. Keep an eye out for them. Big qualifiers are coming up. Rainer's going to be a part of that. We will be casting the qualifiers via replays. So we won't be casting it live, but a couple of days later, we'll be there with those replays. Look forward to it. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for the support. Big shout out to all the qualified teams, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego. Bye.